Welcome to British Biomedicine Institute. Today Dr. Pramod Khatri, is going to represent a simple topic named as sickle cell and thalassemia. So what are sickle cell or thalassemia? Basically, it is a serious condition. It affects your RBCs, red blood cell, and it is inherited from your parents. And you cannot catch them because you are not aware which parent is carrier here. So basically in the introduction part, sickle cell and thalassemia disorders, they affect the hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is basically the part of a blood that carry oxygen around the body. Oxygen is carried less efficiently around the body in people with sickle cell and thalassemia. Sickle cell affect quality of hemoglobin. The red blood cells can take on sickle shape when they give up oxygen in small blood vessels. They become stiff and they cannot circulate properly. They can also become stuck in small blood vessels and cause blockage. Whereas thalassemia affect the quantity of hemoglobin. There are not enough RBC cells to get oxygen around the body. So basically in this disease, sickle cell anemia and thalassemia, genetics play an important role, and genes are the code that passes from parents to us. They are what make us look more like our father and mother. They also determine whether we will be tall or small, black and white. So how a sickle cell and thalassemia are inherited? So basically either father, either mother, if any of one of them is carrier, then this disorder can transfer. So basically carrier have the disorder gene. They usually have no symptoms and even may not even know they carry the gene. So if only one parent were a carrier, the child cannot inherit the disorder, but they can still be a carrier. And if one parent has a disorder and other is a carrier, the child is more likely to inherit the disorder named as sickle cell or thalassemia. So how gene can control hemoglobin? So if A comes from one parent and another A comes from another parent, it can lead to formation of a healthy person if both are normal. And if any of the parent, either mother or father, is affected, then the child will be carrier for sickle cell disease. And if both the parents, they are carrier, then the chances of affecting the baby with sickle cell disease can increase, and this person will have the disease for their whole life because here both the parents were carrier. The gene thalassemia is inherited in exactly the same way if both parents are again carrier for this disease. So as genetic disorders, sickle cell and thalassemia can affect anyone, but they are more common among specific black and minor ethnic groups. It is not about the race, but it entirely depends upon the parents whether they are inheriting the disease or not. So here in this picture, it is shown that the prevalence of thalassemia and sicklesemia is more prevalent in African regions. In Indian regions and Iran, Iraq, it is much more prevalent. So who is most at the risk? So particularly for sickle cell carrier like HBAS, West Africans, African Caribbeans and Asians, they are at risk. If I say West African, the chances of population frequency will be 1 in 5. For African Caribbean, it will be 1 in 8. And for Asians, 1 in 100. Whereas for beta thalassemia carrier, it is basically prevalent in Mediterranean or in Asians, and the prevalence here is, population frequency here is 1 in 7. whereas for Asian it is 1 in 10. And for hemoglobin variant Indians, particularly Pakistani populations, they are more prone, where the frequency ratio is 1 in 50. And HbAE, it is basically related hemoglobin variant Bangladeshi, also seen in Indian populations and Pakistani populations, 1 in 25. So this is the most risky picture of the thalassemia and sickle cell anemia. So what does this mean in England? Around 450,000 people carry an unusual gene of sickle cell or thalassemia. Around 13,000 have sickle cell disease. Around 700 have beta thalassemia major. And worldwide, sickle cell and thalassemia are the most common single gene disorder. So let me have a deeper look at understanding the disease. Sickle cell can affect quality of hemoglobin. Sickle cell, red blood cells can take on sickle shape when they give up oxygen in the same small blood vessels, and cell can become stiff and they cannot circulate properly. Cells can then become stuck in small blood vessels and then cause problem like your chronic pain. The normal RBC cell life is 120 days, whereas if it is sickle shape, then the life of that sickle shape will only be 20 to 30 days. The main problem for sickle cell patient is that it is more susceptible to infection, including meningitis and those affecting the chest, bone or blood. Anemia. Body has difficulty in handling iron. Pain. It can be a whole body pain. Strokes can also there. Damage to joint, especially your shoulders and hips. And if it is not treated early, then there can be a possible death. Excess or breakdown of RBC cells can result in jaundice. We may need treatment for other complications such as diabetes and infertility. So now comes the treatment aspect for sickle cells. We can use penicillin to prevent infection. Folic acid will be given to pregnant ladies, or it can also help in producing more RBC cells. Immunization against infection is again mandatory. For some, bone marrow transplant are an option. Also important is education to parents and career about the condition, good diet which is rich in iron, and guarding against common complications. Now comes beta thalassemia major. Beta thalassemia affect quantity of RBC cells, and there is no enough oxygen to get around the body. So people with thalassemia need a blood transfusion every 3 to 4 weeks for life. And the common problem here are poor feeding in babies, pale, irritable, large spleen, may have heart failure if not treated, and untreated children can die in young age. Treatment of thalassemia. After transfusion, too much iron built up in the oxygen in the body. We need treatment every day to remove of excess of iron, and for that we can use injection or pills, and it can be also be cured with the help of BMT, bone marrow transplant, in some patients. And also important is to educating the patients and carrier about the condition. Good diet is again needed, and guarding against common complications is also mandatory or necessary. The facing the challenges or living with sickle cell or thalassemia patients. So basically we have to find the right care and support. Dealing with school life is also important. Finding the right housing, facing stigma and lack of understanding, getting employer to understand and support, and frustration of being wrapped in cotton wool when you are well. Now comes the informed choice, the importance of screening. These days, screening requires only a blood sample test that can be carried out at any time. So why the screening is important? In newborn babies, basically it identifies those with the disease early to ensure that they receive correct or optimal treatment. During pregnancy, it identifies whether the parents are carrier and the risk to their child having the disease. If screened early, parents have time to prepare and make a fully informed choice. And at other time, screening allow men and women to know the status and therefore calculate the risk. Early is essential. This is a point. For most people, screening happens after conception, which will be a too late decision for them. It is crucial that mom and dad get tested as early as possible, particularly between 8 to 10 weeks of pregnancy. It will be beneficial for the parents to decide whether to continue or to discard the baby. It will also provide the time for all the stages of screening, getting father and even newborn baby tested if requested. It also gives time to consider options and receiving counseling. Challenging stigma. If one person is carrier, it is likely that other in the family member will also be carrier. The chances can increase. So carrier need to decide about telling in immediate and wider family and informing them about the screening, which is very much important step. In some communities, this may raise complex ethical, cultural, religious issue, example, arranged marriage, cousin marriage, and termination of pregnancies. So there are various ethical issues which can prevail. So now comes the common myth and taboos. Myth: people with condition will die young. This is a myth. But fact here it is, treatment are improving quickly. People can live a long life if they receive the right treatment at the right time. Myth number 2, sickle cell and thalassemia are black issue. Fact here it is, because they are genetic, these diseases can occur in any of the population. Myth number 3, I am well so I cannot be a carrier. Fact here it is that you can't tell unless you have a blood test. Myth number 4, you can catch this condition, whereas in reality you can get only them when you have inherited it from your parents. Myth number 5, screening is for women only. Fact here it is just as important for men to be screened. So these are the myths which are prevailing in our society. So this is all about the presentation. I hope you have gained a lot of clinical information through this presentation. Please like, share, subscribe our YouTube channel named as British Biomedicine Institute. Good luck, goodbye.